Hey dudes, this is Miss Misery of Movie Massacre, and you're listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the Past. Tommy will come anywhere.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things could get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming a friend of mine from the Bay Area. She sells merch at a lot of Comic Cons and Horror Cons in the Bay Area. Her name is Heather Taylor, and Heather's an absolute sweetheart. She's one of those people you meet one time and you feel like you've known her your whole life. I met her last October at the Santa Rosa Comic Con, and I was walking around looking for my mother. My mother had struck up a conversation with her. I may have seen her before at other conventions in the Bay Area. Who knows? I don't remember, but she does most of them. And it's very exciting to have her on the show today. And I would have loved to have her on to promote, a con appearance. But right now we're still in COVID, unfortunately. But it's going to be great to have her on to talk about all that stuff. So, here is my first show of August, my first interview with Heather Taylor. What's up, Heather?
Hey, Tommy. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Welcome to the show, finally.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm super stoked to be here because we've been talking about it for a bit.
Yeah. I've just in the middle of digesting dinner. I had 2 tri-tips tonight.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Kevin made us some trout.
Yeah, I'm back on my diet as of yesterday, so I had to eat good in terms of just staying away from the carbs.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. When I lost all my weight, I ate all the things. I didn't stay away from carbs and just focused on less calories altogether and more activity. And I was pretty happy. Took me a while to get over. Like, I'd see commercials that had donuts or something. I'm like, I want a donut. Like, I don't even eat donuts, but seeing them on a commercial would make me want them, and that was hard, but got over it. A donut's just not worth it.
Yeah, TV commercials are the fucking worst, aren't they?
Yeah. It's like a Jack in the Box, donuts, and cupcakes. Like, I couldn't stand seeing images of those things. And then it turns out, like, you can eat those things. You just have to not do it very often and eat a fraction of what you normally would have eaten. And then it turns out, like, it doesn't even make you feel good when you're not used to it anymore. You're like, why did I just do that? I feel like shit. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, the commercials, oh my God. And so cupcakes, we have a bakery in our supermarket over here that has really good cupcakes. And I just, my mouth just waters every time I see them.
Now my mouth is watering just thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, moving on.
Yeah, so you were saying that your mom is not doing super well right now.
Yeah, well, I talked to her on the phone earlier, and she's getting a little bit better, but it's still going to be a long time. It was bad. It was pretty.
Sorry to hear that.
It was pretty bad. Yeah, I just hope we get some good news this week regarding other things that are around it and stuff. But
right.
Other than that, I mean, I'm just doing my podcast constantly, and that's the only thing that's making me happy. Otherwise, I'm just miserable being shut in like this,
Yeah. I think everybody's a little bit miserable and shut in right now,
Yeah.
Everybody's in the same boat with just being lonely,
Yeah.
Just not being able to get out and do what you like to do.
Yeah. So how are you holding up in this clusterfuck?
In general, it's funny. I think I'm more of an introvert than a lot of people might realize. So overall, I was doing okay. And the first month of it, I was actually very ill. And Kaiser didn't see fit to have me tested. So I don't know what I had, but I don't think I've been so sick in my life. And so we definitely had a scare early on. Streffen told me a little later, for those who don't know, I'm Streffen's wife, Heather. And Streffen told me later on that I had said I had a good life. And, I didn't even realize that I had said that. So he's like, I'm not ready to let you go. So, I was feeling horrible, more so than ever in my life. And so I think I definitely got a good fear. We both definitely got a good fear put into us about how serious COVID-19 is. And so we've been very, very cautious. And generally I was doing okay, but I missed the day-to-day people. And I definitely have days where I think maybe I'm depressed. I'm not really sure. And then the last 4 weeks I've had a summer camp, and that's been pretty good. It's definitely interesting operating during coronavirus time. So everybody wears a mask, and we work to not touch each other, and not all the bathrooms at the park are open. It's got its own special set of circumstances, and nobody's really been used to being so physically active for months. So it's a lot more Band-Aids and ice packs than we're used to, for sure.
Wow, you really thought you were going to buy the farm?
Yeah, apparently I did. Yeah, I honestly don't remember that, but I definitely do remember not having any energy and coughing constantly, and going for a walk around the block in the sunshine and realizing that I hadn't been out of the house in a full month and didn't miss it. Like I was that sick that I was working out of my bed and didn't realize it, a month had passed. So yeah.
I got the worst 72-hour virus in my life back in May, and we thought it was COVID, so I got tested. They stuck that Q-tip all the way up my nose. It was the most uncomfortable feeling ever. Oh my God, I was gagging. I mean, literally gagging.
Yeah.
And it was negative, so thank God.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, I went and got a test a couple weeks ago, and then I realized, that it was, I did it just to put parents at ease, which I didn't even tell them I was getting a test, but the parents of the kids I teach. And realized after that that was, I'm not sick. I've been exceptionally careful, and just I had an appointment for a certain time. I showed up 15 minutes early, left out 45 minutes after the appointment time, and just realized that was just a big waste of resources and time. If I truly, the way we've been living our lives lately, I, wasn't at risk of contracting coronavirus at all. I drive. My husband does the errands with his N95 mask on, and and that's it. So, yeah. It's
funny. I'm young. I'm 37, and throughout my history in the world, starting in like 1999, I started seeing the world getting weirder and weirder, and
right.
It's like I never anticipated anything like this, but I never thought that it was going to be like this, really. I didn't think we were going to have the Black Plague again, and that's what pretty much it is,
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that with the coronavirus, I already, had entered into a time of self-reflection. And then with George Floyd's murder, it's like this is not a time for just self-reflection. This is a time for societal reflection and realizing what we need to be doing toward making life better for the future. And it's very serious, and there's no time to waste. So I definitely think that as bad as times are right now, I think that it's necessary for us as a people to move forward.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen. I remember a week before COVID hit and the pandemic started, a friend of mine called me. She had just had one of her ovaries removed, and she was very devastated about it, and she was in a lot of pain and everything, and I made her laugh out loud. I said to her, you know those lollipops you get at the carnival? They're like rainbow swirled on a stick?
Yeah.
I said, I bet that's what her fallopian tubes look like. She laughed out loud.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she laughed
Oh, we
out.
do look like that.
Yeah. I just...
Colorful and twisted and wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I just want to get the fuck out of the house and go back to the cons. I'm having withdrawals and separation anxiety from the cons, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, because that's how we know each other, because I've been manning the November Fire booth for years, and you and your mom have been coming by for years, and, you know, that's how I got to know you is at the conventions and getting out and seeing people. And we had our East Bay Comic Con back in February, and then that's it. Everything else is canceled. It's crazy. It's you get used to a certain schedule and lifestyle and certain people you see, and then no more.
My last hope is in October. There's going to be the horror festival Shriek Fest the first weekend. The promoter Denise, she's been on my show 3 times. She wants me to go so bad, and so I want to go because she's got connections into the industry and she helps people. She's all about helping people. And then 2 weeks later is the Hollywood show. A lot of my guests are going to be lined up to go and stuff. If Shriekfest got canceled, I would definitely go to the Hollywood show. But because I just want to make a leap and get into the business, I want to go to Shriekfest.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, wear your PPE and camp outside or something, you know?
Yeah. I'm just hoping that one of these 2 events are going to happen because I just need to get out of the house. And
yeah.
I was just thinking, though, you know, the fact that I got to meet Christy McNichol at East Bay Comic Con was just so
nice.
Was just so wonderful. I mean, if it's going to be prohibited to give hugs, I mean, that was the ultimate hug I got. I'm so happy about that.
That's funny. Yeah, I swear to you, that's the thing that made me the most sad with stay at home is I don't even know when I can hug people again aside from my own husband. You know, it's just that made me the most sad. You know, Stefan and I are both big huggers, and just a bummer. You know, 1, to not see people, and then 2, if we get a chance to see people again, you know, there's not human contact. You know, and that's. I definitely I feel I mourn for that.
Well, whatever vaccine comes out, that's going to be the new VD, like VD was back in the day. You know, you catch it, then you can go get a shot.
Yeah.
I just wish it would be that simple for AIDS, you know, to have sex with anybody again, you know.
Yeah. It would be amazing. Life would change for sure if it were so simple. Viruses are tricky.
Yeah. And they're doing all these virtual cons. I'm not partaking in those because you only get 2 minutes with the celebrity or whatever, and it's just a waste to me. Mm-hmm. I'd rather be there, you know, and I just want to stay away from that, you know. And it'd be hella funny if you had to like sell merch like virtually and stuff. That would be hella funny if they had you guys doing that.
Yeah, it's weird. I definitely don't foresee anything happening in the near future for us virtually. You know, we'll see. You know, here I'm doing your podcast. That's kind of virtual, right?
Right.
You know, but I have no idea. I think that the next thing we have going on is, I guess in September. Let me see here. Yeah, in September, the 25th through the 27th, the next thing we have going on is San Francisco History Days. And I'm not 100% sure how we're going to approach that. You know, we talked about showing our movies at the Balboa Theater, but I'm not sure if that'll be allowed yet. So we've got, you know, basically almost 2 months to get everything figured out. Like, are we going to have our movies, you know, on TV? Are we going to have our movies in a theater? Are we going to have them online? Well, they are online. They're on Amazon. But, you know, what is a virtual History Day is going to look like? It already wasn't going to happen at the Mint.
Yeah.
So, where, you know, how is this going to happen? You know, we'll see. It's interesting. But, yeah, we don't even have anything else planned for November Fire stuff yet, other than San Francisco History Days. And then, as you know, we have, you know, our horror-based stuff and our history-based stuff. So we're sort of across the board. We don't have any of the horror-type stuff planned at all right now. Everything's been canceled as far as conventions. And nothing is on the books at all, which is just a very, you know, a very, very weird time.
Yeah, I feel the worst bad for David Marina and their conventions. You know, California Republicon and Powerhouse Con and Campbell, which is in Vegas now because the city of Campbell fucking booted them out in California. I feel bad for them. I think they've really taken a tumble financially over this, and I hope next year they can get back to it and stuff. They had some great lineups of guests scheduled this year, and he told me California Republicon in Merced is actually it's hanging by a thread, which is not good. But he says that it could still happen though. But just don't get your hopes up. He told me, and. One of my earliest guests is booked for that one, Larry Lethan from Bloody Birthday and Return to Horror High and The Prey, some of my favorite horror movies there. Yeah, I'd love to meet her in person. She's a great lady. And
cool.
And oh god, the lizard guy on Star Trek, the Gorgon or whatever. He's scheduled to be there. I talked to him back in January. Yeah,
we were next to him at when WonderCon went down to Anaheim. We were at the booth next to him, and it's between him and his stepson. It was a ceaseless comedy. It was awesome.
Really?
So, yeah, his stepson just gives him so much shit. It's awesome. It's hilarious. He talks about all the pickup lines that he gives to waitresses and all that stuff. So he's a good guy for sure. Yeah. It's fun. I think some of the funnest. I don't really get to get out at cons because I'm working. But who comes to me, you know, is always amusing, and it's always great to have the you know, whoever's next to you all weekend long. Like, a favorite was from when Steve had Big Wow, and we were next to Jane Whelan from the Go-Go's all weekend.
Really? Oh, I've been wanting her on my show for a long time. She's kind of cunty, though.
Nah, not even slightly. She definitely was my favorite person to spend the weekend with at a convention.
Really?
Ever by far. Yeah.
Her management is kind of cunty then, I guess, when I tried to email her. Yeah.
Right. Well, that could very well be. I mean, I'm spending a fair amount of time, not a fair amount of time, I'm spending a shit ton of time managing a professional driver right now, and sometimes your job has to be a little cunty. It's not usually, but sometimes. But yeah, she's. I definitely learned a lot from her by being next to her all weekend. Yeah, she's definitely a good person, and really enjoyed that. I think that it changed my attitude toward being at cons all weekend, and how do you handle fans who are exceptionally socially awkward and choose to stare all weekend.
Yeah.
She does her job with grace, and definitely I appreciated being around her and getting to know her a little bit.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk to her for a long time because I loved, she's the singing telegram lady in Clue, and she's Joan of Arc in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and of course I'm a huge Go-Go's fan, but also I found out that she's a big fan of fetishism, and I heard her say in an interview once that she's into fetishism, and she's said in the interview that she's let guys smell her feet, and I'm into that sort of thing, so God, I would love to smell her feet.
Man, yeah, when Stefan was doing Creepy Coffee Movie Time, the some of the letters the cave girls would get were so intense about things like that, and
Yeah.
There was always a debate. Like one of the shows, one of the girls was barefoot on the show because somebody asked her to not wear shoes, and then the debate was that the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do?
Right.
To listen to what this guy said about his fetish about wanting to see her barefoot, and
Yeah.
and I think definitely being Creepy Coffee Movie Time, the show definitely attracted creeps, and that was probably the wrong thing to do, to go ahead and give in to someone's fetish, because it was definitely, when we're with the girls at conventions, we definitely have to set ourselves up in a way that prevents people from getting directly to them, because there is definitely a creepy crowd that follows the girls, and it's not good. So yeah, for a long time I had myself as not associated with the show, and I have my teaching page separate on Facebook and Instagram just because of the show. And now that the show's been off the air, it's definitely eased up. But there was definitely a time where I needed to have my own life separate from the show, because it was creepy.
Yeah, I don't believe in that sort of thing of being creepy like that, and stuff. I'm very respectful, If I know that someone's on the same page with me, that's when I indulge. Other than that, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely a whole crowd at the conventions that's socially clueless, and that's not really their fault. But
yeah,
there's definitely people who who cross lines, and we just have to be mindful of who those people are and how might we handle it. So yeah, one of those ways is I'm the gatekeeper at our booth and make sure my body is by the entrance and not the girls' bodies, because I can probably kick somebody's ass and I'm not wearing high heels. So I don't know, it's an interesting thing.
Yeah, I got to meet the Creepy Coffee Movie Time folks at the East Bay Comic Con in 2017. That was my first time going, and me and my friend, we this was his last hurrah before he went to go do a religious mission in Chile. Like 2 days later, we went there, and I had wanted to go the year before when PJ Souls was there, but I ended up not going for whatever reason. But I went there, and I had a great time, and I was watching the panel, and they had just announced that Coffee 20 had canceled the show, and I was just like, what? Because I remember coming home on New Year's Eve 2009 and seeing someone's status saying, hey, there's a new horror movie show on Coffee 20. And I was working as a bouncer at a bar on Saturday nights, so it wasn't until I got fired that November I actually saw the show, and I watched it for quite a while until I fell off the rails of my alcoholism, and then I didn't watch that much TV for a while after that. But then I remember, I went to the con and I went to their panel. I was like, oh fuck, that's sad, because I remember before that they got on the air, about 8 years before, there was Offbeat Cinema on Coffee 20, and I hadn't seen a horror movie show since Joe Bob Briggs had got canceled on Monster Vision like the year or two before, and I was obsessed with Offbeat Cinema. I actually got to interview the Beatnik girl Constance last year, and I was really excited. She's a sweetheart. She's a lot of fun. And she actually responded to her creepy people, because she's always barefoot on that show.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Watch out!
She gets a lot of creepy people too on that show, because she's always barefoot. And so and then I remember too, I was so sad when they canceled that, and so they didn't have a horror movie show for a long time until Creepy Coffee Movie Time came on, and I was really happy. Yeah.
Yeah, so Streffen and I were involved with that from the beginning. We missed one taping ever. Mm-hmm. And then that's when Streffen became Slob, the character on there. And we've been involved ever since. And it's on, now it's on Amazon, and we sell the DVDs through our website at November Fire, and sell them on eBay. But like you can watch it on Amazon now. It's heavily edited on Amazon, though. I gotta say, you're not allowed to do shout outs and have the on-screen advertising and whatnot. And there are certain episodes we can't put up there.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to have been involved for this long, and you never know what's going to happen in the future with it. For sure, it's always something may be happening.
Yeah.
So, but we're super involved with it, and all the low definition stuff is on Amazon. We're looking at what to do with the high definition.
Yeah, and I didn't know if I told you this before, but I did stand-up comedy for 10 years in the Bay Area, and I saw a lot of comedians I knew go on the show, and I wanted to be on the show, but I didn't know how, and no one ever told me how to or anything, But I see on YouTube, like, comedians I knew I didn't even know were on there and stuff, including some I can't stand who are still mean to me to this day, But I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should attempt that when I get my own horror hosting show, put on comedians. That's a great little breath of fresh air. What I like about that show, as opposed to the creature features that we see now on Coffee 20, is that they gave more variety, like Bob Wilkins and John Stanley did when they were hosting creature features, whereas this new creature features is kind of gimmicky, and because they have a much more corporate structure now, and there's a lot more commercials, it's just not, they don't give a variety, like Coffee Creepy Movie Time did and stuff, and Bob Wilkins and John Stanley did when they hosted. Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge difference, in the format itself that a lot of people aren't really aware of, given that Bob Wilkins and John Stanley, like Creepy Coffee Movie Time, those were actually produced by the TV station.
Yeah.
So there's a giant, the way the show is produced is far different with those more traditional shows, because it's put on by the TV station, and that's not the case with the current stuff.
Yeah, the show that I want to do, right, and I attempted to make one last year, and then I got fucked over by my comedy mentor, who's going to be my producer. We just got into a huge fight like a month ago. He and I, we cut it off for good. I just can't be around negativity and naysayers like him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the show that I want to do, I want to be my podcast persona, Tommy Throwback Kovac. He's the perverted fanboy who's stuck in the 80s, but he likes all kinds of old entertainment, and he makes often very gross and sexist comments to the female guest, and they put him in his place. And what I want to accomplish with that is, in this world of Me Too that we have now and all this political correctness, I want to show men how not to treat women. You know, that's been my that's been my mission since I started this podcast. You know, and stuff. And I've had 928 guests. You're my 928th today, and it's been mostly females. And they love my humor, and they love what I'm doing. They don't get offended by anything I say or nothing. Because all the actresses and musicians, they're total free spirits. They're like one of the guys, and they get it. They can tell the difference between kidding around and being serious.
Right, exactly.
But I want to give...
It's important.
Right. But I want to give them variety like that. I want to put comedians on. I want to do, like, sketches in between, really politically incorrect sketches. Just different things, I want to make it like, a cross between Howard Stern's show with Pee-wee's Playhouse and all the horror movie shows I grew up watching, like USA Up All Night and Joe Bob Briggs' Monster Vision and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All that awesome stuff.
Yeah, start off showing the public domain stuff and then graduate to, like, I want to show the 80s stuff that USA Up All Night used to play, because that shit's classic now. And when I watched it, it was current, but I want it exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But there's a lot of money issues and copyright issues that's preventing it, but I think that if I can build a following with the public domain stuff first, then it can be that,
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worthwhile to look into doing it without public domain if you can, because all the public domain stuff has been done to death.
It has been done to death, but you got to start somewhere.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And, I don't know. We've been involved in this, the world of public domain movies for so long. I know a little, I don't know. I know a little too much about all of it, just because.
Well, it's funny.
I swear we've been living in this world for decades, me and Streffen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, Lord Blooddraw, he still does them.
Yeah.
And I think Miss Misery, I think she does a lot of the non-public domain stuff now, and I think she even showed Halloween on her Halloween special a couple years ago, I think.
Uh-huh.
Or something along.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, if you can step into that world, then go for it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
I think my show would work on streaming more, so I have more time and no commercials, but we can do commercial parodies,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lobo did a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
From Insomnia.
Yeah. I talked to him last year, and he's a character.
Yeah, we love Mr. Lobo. He's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just my biggest... Oh, go ahead.
Go. I was just going to say the cool thing about November Fires, we've been involved with a lot of different horror hosts around the country over the years. We'll make shirts for them, or they'll advertise us and whatnot. So it's actually pretty awesome, because we're involved with a lot of various horror hosts all over the place and selling horror shirts and all that awesome stuff. So it's, I don't know, I like being involved with the behind-the-scenes type of things with these shows.
Yeah, just my biggest fear doing an amateurish-looking show is being compared to Al Omega.
Don't even mention that guy's name on this podcast.
Yeah, I had to block him the other day, by the way.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I won't even fucking go there. But
persona non grata.
Exactly. Yes, and he even told me it himself a year ago, and then I started poking around, and I found out shit. But, yeah, so I hope to do that in the future, and yeah, I just love, I always wanted to be a horror host and stuff. I just didn't know how to do it, and I ironically lived across the street from a cable access station for 9 years and didn't even know it.
Right.
Over at in San Carlos at Peninsula TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're an educational station, so they probably wouldn't have let me do not only a horror show, but just one that's politically incorrect. They wouldn't have let me do, but I should have at least became an intern there and learned how to do things, and then my whole trajectory would have worked out a lot faster than it did. But it's just I got caught up in the bar life, and a lot of shit happened.
Yeah. It's never too late, though.
Yeah.
Get on in there and start doing your thing.
Never too late. I mean, look at Lord Blooddraw. He was like 45 when he started doing it or something.
Right. Exactly. You just got to get in there and do it. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's the funniest thing. Like, for me, I started way later in life getting into the racing scene. The road racing scene around here, and just speaking of later in life, I didn't realize that this is something that I would really want to get into for a really long, for at all until Stefan and I, we got Speed Channel on TV and started watching Formula One races, and then started going to see races live, and then before I knew it, I was sitting there hanging on the fences at races, just like, oh my God, I can't wait. I wish I could get closer. And then sure enough, I started volunteering and learning how to be a tech inspector for race cars and driver's gear and stuff. And, and I'm old enough that there's a little joke, but it's kind of true, that, I'm drift mom. Like, I don't have any actual kids, but these kids who are drifting, I'm old enough to be their mom, but I'm, checking their cars and making sure they stay safe. So there's a little bit of a drift mom joke out there, but I'm happy to embrace it because, that motorsports is a family.
Right.
And, if I can be drift mom, then what the hell, why not? And so, that's, I don't know, it's just something fun. Never ever thought, I would be this involved. I'm actually in late 2019, late 2019. What year was it? Oh my God. It's been, it was late 2018. I became an EMT. For my work at Sonoma Raceway. So I'm on the fire safety team. I'm an EMT firefighter at the Raceway. And then I just passed my 1-year anniversary of managing Team Farouk. So I manage professional driver Farouk Kawai, and never ever would have thought I would be here to this day. Managing a professional race team and helping my husband with his business, and then I have my own school called Outside School too. So I never, I'll be 50 in a month, and
wow, you don't look it.
Thanks. It's my active lifestyle. I'm pretty sure, because I definitely am keep myself busy and active, and there's never a dull moment in life, for sure. So just have to eat it up.
Yeah. Well, when my mom and I met you, we both thought that you were very cute and you had youthful exuberance about
Aw.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I like to be cute and have a youthful exuberance. I hope that never goes away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful quality to have.
Yeah. And actually that brings it around, too, because you and I had talked pretty much at length one time at one of these conventions about weight loss.
Yeah.
And I had been 90 pounds heavier than I am now. And, well, to be fair, 75 pounds heavier because I have 15 bonus coronavirus pounds that I'll have to get rid of again. But, it's funny because I always had a lot of energy and was pretty relatively bouncy and everything. But, man, when I lost the weight, I can't even control the amount of energy I have. It's beyond energetic,
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, like, I'm a pretty bouncy person, and then losing weight, you add bendy onto it. So I'm bouncy and bendy now, I guess, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely a proponent of becoming more healthy in one's life because it sure makes a difference towards, your day-to-day attitude and being less in pain and just being a happier individual, all in all, to have lost weight, I have to say.
Yeah, I
highly recommend it, Tommy.
Yeah. Well, I lost 130 pounds back in 2007.
Damn.
I found out that I had to lose weight, and I started stand-up comedy around that same time, and it got me through it. Writing jokes became my new thing to do instead of eating all the time. And
right.
By March of 2007, I lost 100, and I kept another 30 off. Then I started working in the bar business, and I gained about 50 pounds eating fish and chips. I was working at the Swinging Door in San Mateo, and I gained 50 pounds working there, but I stayed good for a couple of years, and then once I started drinking, I gained all the weight back. And then when I woke up from my car accident, I weighed I went from like 320 to 190. And now I'm just trying to get all that weight off again, but it's harder because I'm older and I got metal in my leg, and I can't exercise like I used to, and it's very tough now.
Right.
I don't ever want to be fat again after this.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, you can't let yourself ever go again. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just to regain the weight. Like, it's I don't know. It's just hard.
Yeah.
All of it, it's just hard.
It is.
It's all there is to it.
But I thought this was going to be my year, though, to get to be hosting panels at cons and stuff. My friend Lori Jacobson, she does the cons every year in the Bay Area, and Dave, he was on my podcast last year, and I didn't know if he'd remember me or not and stuff. I was gonna have her introduce me to him in person so I can keep the mind fresh, because at his cons in the Bay Area, he's got those guys those podcasters, Hardly Heroes, hosting the cons, and I've watched their panels on YouTube. They're terrible. Oh my God.
Oh no.
They got a shitty sound system. They got no personality. They're reading off a paper, and I see this a lot, by the way, at a lot of cons around the world. I don't know how they get these guys, especially historians that don't come from a comedy background like I do and stuff. They don't put performance into their panel hosting, and I just think I can do a much better job,
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Coronavirus really fucked up everybody's plan.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Everybody had these ideas about what they would do in 2020, and then we're doing exactly the opposite of anything that anybody planned.
Yeah. That happened to me. I got offered a movie role last year, and it was getting close to getting it financed earlier in the year this year, and now COVID has fucked that up. And I'll bet you anything that when COVID is over, it's not going to be shot in LA. It's probably going to be shot in Georgia, where they're all shooting movies now because of the tax and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I was looking forward to that. The only good thing that's happened is the podcast. I'm interviewing fucking icons. I just had Burt Ward, who played Robin on Batman in the 60s a couple weeks ago.
Cute. I love Burt Ward.
Yeah, he was great.
Awesome.
It wasn't the best interview he's ever done or I've ever done, but it was good. I had fun.
Nice. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm getting all these icons. This has been the best year. I'm getting people that I wanted from the very beginning, and I gave up on them after a while, and then I came back, and then they're like, yes, I'll do it. You know, it's just,
nice.
It's so phenomenal. You know, I wish my mother was coherent right now. I'd tell her that I just interviewed Anita Pointer on Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Then here you are with Heather Taylor.
Yeah.
Con icon of the Bay Area.
Yeah. So are you born and raised in the Bay Area?
Yeah, within 2 hours of here. I was born at Fort Ord when that was still a military base, and I found out later that the hospital I was born in was actually burned down purposefully because people would go in there and get meningitis.
Oh, yeah.
It was in the walls. And then my dad's job when I was an infant was taking those meningitis patients to hospice to die. So I guess I'm glad that I passed through the meningitis phase of my infancy. Then we moved to Sacramento. From there, Pacific Grove for a little bit, Hollister for most of my high school years, Rohnert Park. And then a month after I turned 18, I moved to Berkeley and met Kevin, and we've been together ever since.
Wow.
So, I helped restart 924 Gilman, and Stefan was in a band called Sacrilege. So I had booked his band, and we chatted on the phone and started dating as soon as we met in person. So, yeah, 30. This Halloween will celebrate 32 years.
Oh my God, that's fucking insane. I don't see too many marriages lasting that long, especially in that generation. You're my brother's generation, and his marriage certainly didn't last that long.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. We were just Friday's going to be the last day of my outside school summer camp. So we're trying to think of ways to celebrate, but we can't really do anything because we're supposed to be staying at home. We decided, well, you know, like how awesome that we enjoy each other's company, you know, so we're just going to have some champagne and hors d'oeuvres at the end of my day from our porch. Yeah. You know, we don't need to go anywhere. We'll just do our normal grocery shopping, pick up some special items, and to celebrate at home together. There's, you know, no reason to go out anywhere, really, and, you know, we'll just enjoy each other's company. You know, it's awesome. After so many years where we still love each other and enjoy each other's company and hang out. Every Saturday night we have a Lego and wine date, and you know, my hands started hurting a lot, so we decided that Legos was a really fun thing to do to keep making sure that my hands stayed strong and nimble. So we, build Legos and drink wine. It's a simple life.
Too many hand jobs?
Totally.
That's awesome.
Actually, you know what? The kind of the lame thing is even dishwashing hurts my hands, so I don't even do that anymore. So yeah,
oh shit.
No hands-on activities of any sort, but except for Legos.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are you a big horror?
That's where it's at. It's a simple thing, but you know, there you go.
Yeah. Are you a big horror fan?
Oh yeah, I once, a friend of mine asked if my home was decorated for Halloween, and I'm like, my house is always decorated for Halloween. Our house is never not decorated for Halloween. And yeah, horror. We very much live a horror and Halloween lifestyle. I mean, that's the whole gist of our company, November Fire, is horror and Halloween. And to say that I'm a fan is putting it down in a way. I mean, it's like it's a whole lifestyle. Yeah, it's hard to put it into words, but I mean, we have a household rule that if Night of the Living Dead is on TV, we watch Night of the Living Dead. And now that we're, so heavily involved with Creepy Coffee Movie Time, a lot of times now we'll just run it on Amazon Prime to go to sleep by. But yeah, the horror movies are constantly on. We've made many, Streffen and November Fire made Nosferatu, The Cabinet of Dr. and the Golem into talkies, so people could just watch them. We're super involved with the Creepy Coffee Movie Time. Mm-hmm. Streffen's doing all the closed captioning and posting all those on Amazon. I did closed caption one of them. Man, that's a giant pain in the ass. Yeah. But, you're thankful for those moments where there isn't any dialogue. It's everything in our house is horror and Halloween related. We got married on Halloween. To say, I don't know, it's more of a lifestyle than a fandom. I would definitely have to say.
I've always been a horror fan. Everyone always knew I loved Halloween. Every year is one of my favorite holidays, and I loved watching the movies and stuff. But it wasn't until I had my accident that I was just like, I'm going to show how much of a horror fan I am. I'm going to get posters. I'm going to go to conventions. I'm going to do all that stuff because I just feel like I finally figured out who I am and stuff. And if people don't like me, they can go fuck themselves. So I started doing that, and it's really worked to my advantage. I think that I feel so much better. It's like coming out of the closet, so to speak. It's like you're in the closet for so long, and then you come out, and then all the headache is gone, and it feels really, really good. And since I started this podcast, I don't consider myself a journalist, although my family does now because they like the way I ask questions and stuff. And I've uncovered a lot of scandal in the horror world that is just, oh my God, it is just insane. Like some of these major cons out in LA and other parts of the world, there's a lot of bullshit going on, a lot of politics behind the scenes, and so many people you see drop out because of it. They won't even do cons anymore. Oh my God, the things that I have uncovered and stuff. Right now, it's funny. The closest I am to a journalist right now, I'm trying to uncover a scandal involving Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Mm-hmm. Because that's the one that everyone calls the gay Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I don't even really consider that one that gay. I think Mark Patton is just a little overly sensitive, and he likes to play victim. I had him on the show last year, and he gave me a weird energy. I met him at a convention a couple of years ago, and he was great. He even hit on me at that convention, and I was honored by that. But just like, I don't know, a lot of stuff he told me didn't add up to a lot of things he said in other interviews he's done. He called the screenwriter homophobic, and I interviewed this guy who just happened to be friends with him, and he heard that interview, and he was mad. And I said, and he said, he had a talk with him later, his friend, and he was like, oh, that's nothing new. He's been calling me homophobic for years, and I don't know. There's something weird going on there that I'm just trying to uncover, and I hope I figure it out and stuff, because it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, even if you're not even going to reveal anything publicly, you know, it's fun to like find stuff out like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I totally love. I don't know, all these little insider bits of information and history.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff there and stuff. But what are your favorite like horror movies?
Oh, always. I mean, Night of the Living Dead is absolutely 100% always the favorite. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm really. I think as a teenager, I really did like things like Nightmare on Elm Street and the Screamer type things, but I definitely have come to really, really love all those B movies. We've just spent so much time watching those over the years. Let's see. You know, anything with Vincent Price is amazing. We have a household love of Last Man on Earth.
Oh yeah.
And Omega Man.
Yeah.
Definitely more of the old, plotting, cerebral type stuff. Over Scream Queen type stuff. Yeah, and hands down, always favorite Night of the Living Dead. And everything else is kind of pale in comparison, I gotta say.
Yeah.
We just watch it so much. It's crazy. Yeah. What are your favorites?
Okay, so starting with the creature feature stuff, I love Little Shop of Horrors. Night of the Living Dead also. I've interviewed quite a few people from the George Romero movies, including that one. I love Carnival of Souls. I would love to have.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to have Candy Hilligloss on here, and Lord Blooddraw has tried getting her to come to Creatures Con, but she wants a lot of money for everything she does. She's entitled, you know. It's sad. But I love that. I love Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Oh, yeah.
I just interviewed the little girl in that, Jackie Newman. She was scheduled for Dave's Con in Oregon recently, and I hope he gets her to California next year. That would be great. She was like one of the guys. I told her dirty jokes, and she was laughing out loud. Let's see. I love House on Haunted Hill.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that stuff. And then as far as the popular shit, I love the original Friday the 13th is my favorite slasher movie of all time. Lots of people I've talked to from that. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors is my favorite of the entire series. Dawn of the Dead, 1978. A lot of people from that I've talked to, too. Dracula from 1931. Chopping Mall. This very underrated Charlie Band movie called The Alchemist. I finally interviewed the guy who wrote it. He told me why that movie failed so badly and why the production was a disaster. And I was glad I got closure on it. Lots of stuff. I love Evil Dead. I love Phantasm. You know,
yeah, those movies are great. We do watch Evil Dead constantly.
Yeah, I mean,
meeting Bruce Campbell was a highlight of going to conventions early on before we were involved with all the. Yeah. Before we were involved with everything, we did go to Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors in San Jose and met Bruce Campbell, and he said he had a girlfriend named Heather once, and he was just fun. He's a fun dude.
I was always asking my parents to take me to Fangoria in San Jose, and they never did. But I heard they're going to bring it back next year if everything goes okay.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. They're going to have one in New Jersey, and then it's probably going to work its way around across the country.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Bruce Campbell, I met him last year in Sacramento at a Comic-Con, and him and Robert Englund were both there. Their booths were, like, right next to each other. Robert Englund, you know, he likes to talk to everybody for, like, 10 minutes, right? And Bruce came out of nowhere. He hadn't even been at his booth yet, but he came out of nowhere and said, "Robert, sign the fucking thing and get on with it. No one cares about your trip to Europe." Yeah.
Oh, man.
Everyone was cracking up at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he likes to talk, that guy, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm a big fan of all that stuff, you know? And I like really obscure shit, too, and I've interviewed a lot of obscure people on here, too. And every Halloween, throughout the entire October month, I interview at least 3 horror movie people a day, like 7 days a week sometimes, nonstop. I just keep banging them out because I notice a lot of these horror podcasters get a little bit lazy around October and they don't keep their demographic up. So I just do it, and I have a lot of fun. And this year, it's going to be great. Oh, I'm good. I don't have anyone booked yet, but the list I have to reach out to people. Oh, it's going to be a bunch of toe curlers for all you horror fans out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Last year was
That's very, very cool.
Yeah, last year was a pretty good year. I had a bunch of Killer Clowns people. I had just people from like random horror stuff. And I started doing this 2 years ago. In 2017, when I first started, I didn't even think about it. I was just getting whoever I could that year because I was so new to the process, you know. And then 18, I was like, hey, I'm going to go all out this year because I just think that, you know, I'm doing good. I can get people now, and it's awesome.
Right. Totally. That's rad.
Yeah. I spent the whole day, about a week before that horrible thing happened to my mom. I spent the whole day making an episode guide from my YouTube channel, and I could not believe how there were sometimes weeks or a month in between each guest when I first started, and now it's just frickin' every week, every day, every week now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's good to be busy.
It is. It is very good to be busy. How long have you been doing the booths at conventions for, though?
Oh, my goodness. I can't even tell you. Because we've been doing movies in movie theaters since 2009 when our Playland movie came out. And, you know, we started off with WonderCon. Stratton started off with WonderCon when it was at the Marriott in Oakland. So...
maybe 20 years?
Yeah, I'd say it's been easily 20 years.
That reminds me, every time I bring this name up to anybody in the Bay Area horror scene, I get a no comment. Do you know Robert Burrell?
No.
He made the Milpitas Monster.
Oh, yeah. We talked to him.
Okay.
I just didn't know his name.
Yeah, because every time I mention his name, I get a no comment. I can understand why, because when I had him on the show, he was asking me if I pay or if I'm going to play audio from the movie on the show, and that he wanted to be paid for that. I mean, he's a total money hound of a guy, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I got a lot of no comment, you know. I know Bob Wilkins, John Stanley, they'd be showing that movie back in the 70s and 80s on Creature Feature. And Vincent played it a couple of years ago. Probably never again because he probably wanted money then.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I don't have that relationship with that person, so I couldn't comment to that because I really have no idea. I do know it is hard to make a living, you know. I do know that, so
yeah,
I don't know what his
what his narrative is
or anything. Yeah, I haven't been involved with that end of knowing him, so yeah, can't say.
Yeah, and how long have you been teaching for?
I've been teaching since May 2002, so I've been a teacher for 18 years.
Oh, it hasn't been that long. It wasn't something...
No, it's my second career.
It wasn't something that you grew up aspiring to be, right?
No. No, not at all. I kind of just grew up. And didn't grow up aspiring to be do anything in particular. But yeah, I graduated college and worked at UC Berkeley, and thought that was a good and reasonable thing to do. But it turns out I am not a bureaucrat. I can't live my life waiting for retirement and insurance and all that stuff. And but life is worth living now. So I'm very happy to have ended the bureaucratic lifestyle and started living my life. So I think my jobs there were relatively interesting, but started looking at the people around me and realizing that they were very sad and saggy folks, and I didn't want to be a sad and saggy person. I wanted to have a good time with my life, and so yes, I'm exceptionally busy. Not necessarily a stable lifestyle, but definitely I'm happy on a day-to-day basis, and that's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, I'm friends with a couple of my high school teachers, and they're the complete opposite of what they were when I had them in high school. This one in particular, I had lunch with her about a month before I moved out of the Bay Area, and she was saying, fuck this, fuck that. I never heard that when I was in high school from her. She was just the complete opposite of that, And as soon as we were done having lunch, we went and smoked a bowl. I didn't expect that from her either.
That's funny. Yeah, I definitely, when I'm not around kids, I swear a lot. I'm a big fan of swearing. But yeah, I'm not a normal teacher though, because because of my history with understanding that I was not a good bureaucrat. I decided not to get a teaching credential, and I started teaching preschool. I could only stand setting out maps and cutting apple slices for tiny children for so long, and my brain just needed more. So I became an outdoor educator. I started working in the school garden, then started working in some after-school programs, then taught in a forest school, and now I have my own school, and it's 100% outdoors, and way different than a normal school looks. I definitely am not the normal average teacher. I definitely have to come home and shower at the end of the day because I'm very dirty, very sweaty, and who knows if I have any ticks or poison oak on me. So
yeah,
definitely really active. On Friday, we took a hike up to see cows. So sat on top of San Pablo Ridge with the cows and ate lunch and watched raptors soaring beneath us with the whole bay spread below, and it was just beautiful and peaceful and amazing to go on a 4-mile hike in the middle of the day with 5 to 9-year-olds.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
yeah.
there's certain things about the Bay Area I miss, and there's a lot of things I don't miss. I just was so fed up with the bullshit the last few years that my mom and I were pretty much homeless while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just
yeah.
awful with the rents going high and people were becoming so self-absorbed. It was just insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
There's definitely a lot of self-absorbed people out there with the coronavirus right now, too. There are a lot of people who, me and the kids are wearing masks all day long, playing, having a good time, hiking, running, climbing, all this stuff with masks. It's completely fine. And this one lady one day decided to berate us for not staying 6 feet from her when we were coming up a trail. And she was waiting at the trailhead for us. All she needed to do, put on her little patience pants, wait 30 more seconds for us to pass her. And I reminded her she was supposed to have a mask. She said, "No, I'm not." Like, you are, actually. It's the law. And, but I can't exactly get in a fight with people when I have 8 little children with me,
Yeah, I got berated a couple months ago. It's the only time I've been berated since COVID happened. I had this mailman. I was going to get the mail and stuff before me and Mom were going to go run some errands, and he was telling me, he was telling me that we needed to be distant from each other or something, right? And I just opened the mailbox, grabbed the mail, and left. And he said something like, "You didn't get all the mail," and then I gave him the finger from the back, and then went into the car and stuff. And then I went back later. There was no mail. He was just being a dick. I think he wanted to pick a fight with me or something, and I kind of picked up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people.
I don't know. I just think everybody needs to do their part right now to stop this, so there can be some sort of normalcy. But yeah, being berated isn't fun.
No, and I'm a big fan of Schadenfreude. I love taking pleasure in people's misery sometimes, especially if they're assholes, But and so I love being a dick like that at times when they're being a dick to me, And it's fun. Oh, there are times I remember years ago there was a guy who was on the street corner in San Carlos trying to sell something that was obviously fraudulent, And I just told him, I said, why don't you get yourself a job? And he's like, I do have a job. I'm helping people, And then I kicked his table, and then about 10 people started applauding me. Yeah,
awesome.
I just kicked it over because the guy was just full of shit. He was in his 20s. He looked like he was a crackhead. It's just he's not fooling anyone. These guys who stand on the corners in strip malls and stuff, they think they're fooling somebody, but they're not. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't.
Right.
But yeah, I just hope after this the cons will be back and I will finally have myself maybe a table to promote my convention, my podcast. Which, by the way, do you know the poster guys at the cons? What are they called? From the Land Beyond or whatever. Yeah, that one guy, that Filipino guy or whatever he is, that sells and stuff. He never remembers me every time I see him, and I see him at every con. Even when I go to LA, I see him. I've been printing out sections of my YouTube channel so everyone can see who I've interviewed. I'm going to start bringing those to cons next year because just no one believes me when I say I have a podcast, and so I just want to them to see who I've interviewed.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, make yourself a flyer.
Yeah, I got my business cards and stuff, but that's still not proof. So I have to show them this, show them the sections of my channel,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it seems reasonable to have a little flyer for yourself, and then or your business card or whatever, so that way people know.
Absolutely. We gotta play my secret silly game now.
Sounds dangerous.
It is in the beginning, and then it gets very relaxing by the end.
This sounds even more dangerous.
This is a series of silly slumber party questions. There's no win or lose here. It's just childlike fun. And how this works is, I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me the exact same question, and I answer it.
Oh man, so it's a memory game? I'm gonna fail.
I'll remind you, don't worry.
Okay.
Heather, are you ticklish?
Yes. Are you ticklish?
I am a baby ticklish. I just give everyone like a kick in the groin if they tickle me out of reflex.
Oh man, that's dangerous. Okay, what's next?
Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
Innie. What's yours?
It's an innie, and it's deep. What color are your toenails painted?
They are not painted. What color are your toenails painted?
Au naturel.
Does that mean you have gloss on them, or you have not painted them?
They are completely not painted.
Right.
What would you say is your best personality trait? What?
I don't know. It's probably the best one and the worst one. My honesty.
I love
What's
that.
Your best policy? What's your best personality trait?
My sense of empathy and the fact that I have no filter.
Nice.
No, I love your honesty. It's awesome. My favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Yeah.
Wow. You got the giggles.
No, it comes with a visual because it happened on Friday with the kids. Definitely human poop from not in my own family. Is there a stinky smell that makes you gag?
Either farts or if someone, especially men, has really bad stinky feet. I'm not having it.
Don't get that close to men's feet, man.
Yeah, but if it's like if Jane Weedland,
Not that hard.
yeah, if Jane Weedland let me smell her feet, they would probably smell like perfume and sweat.
Probably.
But that's about it.
She's not a dirty person.
Yeah. You know, I have jokes for you.
Okay.
You know the difference between a golf ball and a G-spot?
No.
A man will spend 20 minutes looking for a golf ball.
That's a good one.
Thank you. Here's one about dog shit.
Oh no.
You know the difference between dog shit and an older woman?
What?
The older they get, the easier they are to pick up.
Totally. You probably haven't heard it. There's a great song. Everybody should listen to this song. It's by the Revolting Cocks. It's called Prune Tang.
Revolting Cocks. I've never heard of them.
Oh, God. You have not lived your life until you listen to the Revolting Cocks. Yeah. And their song about Prune Tang. Highly recommend it.
Oh, my God. Have you ever heard of Psycho Stick?
No.
They're a comedy rock band from Arizona. They did this album. I can't remember the name of it. And the very last song is called We Ran Out of CD Space, right? And
Yeah.
the whole song is playing an acoustic guitar, and he's just saying, what if the world was this and that? It's so fucking hilarious. He's like, what if your dad was made of rainbows? You would be like, OMG, that's lame. I want a dad made out of ninja robots.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like a little, I don't know if I could take it.
Oh, why wouldn't you be able to take it?
I don't know. It just sounds pretty bad.
Oh, it's pretty damn funny. And there's one part where he's like, what if your apartment was full of lots and lots of puppy dogs? And then he's like, you would be like, oh, come here, come here. It's so damn funny. I recommend it. Trust me, it's hilarious. The whole album.
Did you know Streffen has a comedy and a heavy metal record?
No.
Yeah, he's Slob, fast food and heavy metal.
Slob, fast food, and heavy metal.
Yeah, because Slob is a character he developed as a spoof for a project called Silly CDs. It was, instead of Rob Zombie, it was Slob Zombie.
Yeah.
And then he developed a character on Creepy Coffee Movie Time that also he had a band called Slob with a bunch of local musicians, a bunch of famous musicians, and Yeah, so fast food and heavy metal, comedy, heavy metal. Pretty awesome.
I'll take a look at it. Yeah.
You should. You should for sure. It's awesome.
I also, yeah, I also love the Bloodhound Gang.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, there's a tie-in with that too, because the driver I'm managing always was, since he was a little kid, and the Bloodhound Gang actually covered this song, was the song that they would say to the driver I'm managing was Farouk, Farouk, Farouk is on fire. And it seemed the last year his car did really sincerely catch on fire, and so Bloodhound Gang came up because that was a song from around the time he was born, but then Bloodhound Gang covered it, and so definitely we made up shirts that said Farouk, Farouk, Farouk is on fire, because it sounds like Farouk is on fire.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Pretty brilliant.
I love shocking satire. I just love, stuff for shock value. The night that Trump got elected, I was singing karaoke. I sang the Frank Zappa song Bobby Brown, which is probably the dirtiest song ever written. And it made everyone just laugh hysterically, especially the women there. And it was such a misogynistic song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it got a huge laugh.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel that way about anything in the song and stuff, but it's just so damn funny,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Frank Zappa's daughter on here.
You should.
Yeah, I've been trying for like 3 years, and we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, now you're going to have to be like, well, I had Heather Taylor on, so you have to get on here. Heather did it, so you can do it too.
Yeah, I love podcasting. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. It's actually it's quite saved me, because I was just a drunken wreck before everything.
Right. So you'd recommend, if people are drunken wrecks, to go ahead and start their own podcast?
No.
Turn their lives around?
No. I think everyone, no matter who you are, should have a podcast. Whether it's good or bad is not the issue. What the issue is everyone has a voice. Go say something.
Right. Well, does it count? Like this is actually the second podcast I've been on. Does this count if I've been on a podcast?
I don't think it counts. I mean, I would love to be the guy to say that I took your podcast virginity, but that's not true.
Mediocre.
He was?
No, I'm just... It's a little inside joke between me and Streffen, actually, right now.
Yeah, there was a... Yeah, I actually just took Michelle Bauer's podcast virginity.
Oh, no.
That was...
Mine was already taken, so...
Yeah, but I got to take hers, and I actually got to take a handful of people's this year, but hers, oh my God, was the best, because I watched her movies on USA Up All Night when I was a kid, and we talked roughly 2 hours, and it was fucking awesome. And now she wants to get together with me next time I'm in LA.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh hell yes. I mean, I've gotten together with a lot of people I've interviewed and stuff.
Awesome.
It's the best. Just the best.
Yeah, well, we'll get together when conventions happen again.
Yes, I hope they do. And I worry about the future of conventions, but I also hope that, the best happens at the same time.
Right. It'll happen.
I drink way too much coffee tonight. I'm just slurring over stuff.
Oh no. I'm trying to figure out, I have to get some stuff done before tomorrow morning. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. My life has gotten crazy, I gotta say. It's I spend for it's 5 weeks of summer camp. I spend the days I'm teaching kids out in the park, and then I come home and start working on my meetings. Before and after, I'm working on meetings with various companies around the world. So it's definitely a very odd and sort of conflicting lifestyle of strange ways to spend my day. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I get these emails out for first thing in the morning and figure this whole thing out.
Yeah, John Travolta's brother has a summer camp in Stockton for autistic kids who want to be actors and filmmakers. And I'm going to reach out to his wife this week. She's on Facebook. I would love to interview him because he was in a cult classic movie I love called They Still Call Me Bruce. And I've interviewed a couple other people from that movie. I'd love to talk to him and talk about the camp and stuff. And I can't believe, though, that the camp went off without a hitch. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's super crazy. I'm glad it happened, and I'm ready for the school year. I've got a school year program going on, so I'm ready for all of it.
Well, that is so awesome, Heather, and I thank you so much for coming on tonight. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. It was exciting, and I appreciate you reaching out, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at a convention again, and I wish you and your mom the best. I hope that, I hope she can recover.
Yeah, she's getting there. It's going to be a while, but she's halfway there, and today was very hopeful with the call that we had and stuff. But,
good.
Yes, so you have a great night, and...
You too, thank you.
Yes, and talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Tommy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Heather Taylor. Ain't she a sweetheart? I love her. She is fucking awesome. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.